Hey, what's going on? So there's nothing like your doctor telling you you're fat to give you a wake-up call, right? Welcome to Tweak Your Lifestyle. Hey, where we make small changes that can make a big impact in our life, whether it's growing in your faith, trying to get healthier, maybe it's trying to have better finances in your lifestyle. Not that money's everything, but hey, you can do a lot more when you have more of it, correct? So when I was in my late 30s, I realized, there's more to life than just putting your head down and doing the work, try to get up that career ladder. And there's nothing wrong with building your career, absolutely not. But in my case, I missed out on a lot of my kids growing up, home life, etc. I just, there's more to life than just accumulating things. You can't take any of it with you. So if I can leave a small little impact before I go, hey, what a blessing that would be. So welcome to the channel. If something resonates with you, if you kind of click, hey, hit that subscribe button. Come along this journey with me. Now, I recently went to the doctor, for my foot. About 6 weeks ago, my foot, it was like irritable. It was getting a little sore. And I've had these issues before in the past. And a lot of times it's just, hey, it's time to change shoes, right? Your shoes got a little worn. Put some new treads on them tires and then keep going. So I got new shoes, and that seemed to help a little bit. But it was still in a lot of pain. And nowadays, with COVID, you communicate a little bit more with your doctor through apps. And so I have an app where I send in stuff to my doctor. And I was telling him about the situation. And I was like, look, I don't recall having an injury or anything like that. It's just a sore. And he's like, well, it sounds like plantar fasciitis. And, my wife mentioned plantar fasciitis before that. She's a nurse. And so she'd already been doing some research on it and doing, he recommended doing the stretches. And if it doesn't help, call back. And so I started doing the stretches. She got me like this brace, and she got me some shoe inserts. And I was feeling better. It was starting to ease up a little bit. And here in Texas, man, we just got bombarded or blessed with a lot of rain. And when that happens, it really slows down getting the yard done, getting the mowing done. Y'all know I live on 62 acres. No, I don't push mow 62 acres, but I have some big sections laid out that I do like to push mow to get my steps in. If I need to get 10,000 steps, boom, I go mow this section. If I need to get, some other steps. But the problem is we've had so much rain. I got super behind. And we were expecting a visit from mother-in-law. Love when she visits. I wanted the place to look okay, right? So I really had a small break in the rain, had a little bit of dryness going on, and so I was trying to get as many of those sections mowed as possible. And oh my goodness, I got to where I couldn't even walk. And it wasn't just my left foot; it became my left foot and my right knee. And I just like, well, okay, well, my right. I'm kind of compensating a little bit for my sore foot, so maybe I just strained my knee a little bit. And then we were getting ready. It's my grandson's birthday party, and we were getting ready to go to that. And I don't know what happened, but my foot like popped. I landed, stepped on it wrong way or something. I thought maybe there's like a little pebble on the floor or something like that. So it kind of, when you start to feel something like that, you kind of change your footing. And all of a sudden, here's pop, and it put me down. It hurt, man. We almost didn't even go to the party. But I'm not gonna miss my grandson's birthday party and my grandkid's birthday party if I can help it. And so we went. I was in a lot of pain, and that was on Saturday. And then it happened again on Monday evening, and it was like 2 pops on my foot. I was like, all right. Tuesday, I couldn't even walk. I called my doctor. I sent him another message. And he's like, make an appointment. So I called, and it was going to be a few days before they can get me in. I'm like, no. I was going to go to the ER. And I didn't go to the ER. I went to the ER. But, man, it was just, like, packed. I'm like, no. So before we moved out here, I lived in a different town, and I had some doctors in that area. I was like, well, let me call doctor I used to go to whenever I had injuries. And so I called them up and said, hey, Mr. Yackel, we can get you in tomorrow. All right, cool. So I go in, and he's a specialist. That's what they do. And I wasn't even going to put my knee down, but I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and have a look at my knee just in case, And so they took x-rays of my foot, did my knee. Doctor comes in, says, hey, Mr. Yackel, I ain't seen you in forever, and explained the situation, what I just explained to y'all, what was going on. And he goes, okay, it's making sense. And he comes over, and he's got this little notepad, iPad, whatever you want to call it, little electronic device, and it's got the x-rays on there. Pretty cool. The first time I've seen something like that. Usually they have the big pictures, and they put them up in the light, and they're pointing. But he's got like this little tablet, and he's showing me a picture of my knee. And he's like, look, man, this is, your cartilage goes from left to right in this area, and you want to see the same amount of gaps here and here, but you got this and this and this. That's early signs of arthritis. And I've mentioned before in my previous videos how I had really bad knee problems. In fact, I couldn't even, walk around the store with my wife. I'd be the guy sitting up front, and I did start taking a sulfur supplement, and that really helped, and the pain really went away until here recently. And so I explained to him. He goes, well, it's probably a flare-up. It's probably a flare-up from no activity to extreme activity. He goes, plus your age, and he's like, look at me, and he goes, and there's no easy way to put this. You're overweight. And it was like and I was like, but I'm trying to lose weight. You don't know my journey. You don't know my story, man. I've lost 92 pounds, and yeah, I've gained some of it back, but I'm back on track to losing again. And hey, it's all about the here and now. It's where I am at right now. And even when I'd lost the 92 pounds, I'm still considered obese. I did a video on that about a year ago. But I'm 6'3", so my ideal weight is like it's like 180 to 220. Between in that range, 180 to 220 is my ideal weight for a male at 6'3". So even when I'd gotten down to the 250 mark, 248, if you want to be technical, but when I got down there, I'm still overweight, right? And he's like, look, man, you gotta get this weight off if you want to slow down the progress. Number one, he said you got a lot of fluid on there, and what happened was, because of the added activity that you did, all of a sudden it just flared it up. And they went ahead and they drained my knee. They gave me a cortisone shot, and he was talking about giving me some arthritis medicine to slow down the progress. But because I got one kidney, I'm not able to take this medication. So we're looking into lubricant shots. Never heard of those before, but it's supposed to slow down the progress. We've got to see if the insurance approves it or whatnot. And it's basically it's 3 shots, 3 weeks in a row, and then you see how that does, and you either come back 6 months to 12 months later, depending on how well it does, and that'll help slow it down. But then he starts digging into me on my weight again. He goes, one of the best things you can do is get that weight off. And so then we start talking about the foot, because the foot was the original problem. I'd actually broken my foot, stress fracture, not a complete break, but a stress fracture. And I was like, dude, I can't recall any point where, my feet get sore after I'm out working, doing some, I specifically remember spreading some gravel on the driveway. If y'all remember, I have a 1,500-foot driveway. It's got a slope. It's not super steep, but it's got a decent slope to it. And so all the water, when it rains, gathers down at the bottom to the entryway. And the problem with that is as we drive over it, it just digs these big holes, right? And so every once so often I have to have some crushed rock delivered, and then I got to spread it out. And so I do recall spreading some gravel and having like my feet kind of were a little bit extra sore after that. I don't know, the time kind of fits, I guess, about 6 weeks ago. So I don't know if that was it or not. But basically, he's like, look, man, he's like, with your weight and your age, he goes, this isn't probably going to be the last time that happens. I'm like, what? And so he recommended, certain shoes to look for. You want something with a lot of cushion, and you want, a shoe that'll fit your style feet, because we're all different, right? And so he was like, he goes, you know, you want a shoe that'll, you know, kind of arch up just a little bit, and you want a lot of padding, but you also want the soles to not be so flexible. You know, you want a little more stiffness there. That give you more support. And so I just bought brand new shoes because I thought that was the original problem. And he goes, man, your shoes are almost perfect, but they're just a little bit too bendy, is the word he used. And so, yeah, but it got me, you know, I got home last night, I was talking to my wife, and like, you know, again, the need the urgency to get right back on my weight loss journey where I was about a year ago, not quite a year ago. So I was started, in case you're not familiar with the story or want a refresher real quick, I started off at 340 pounds. I'd gotten down, I did a detox program, I transitioned into the keto, and then I transitioned into carnivore. Loved all three of them, worked. And I specifically loved carnivore because it kept me satisfied, it kept me full, and I can eat beef all day long, and that's mostly all I ate. I'm not big on eating chicken. I can deal with turkey. I can eat chicken if it's seasoned right, but I can eat some turkey. But I mostly prefer beef, and the weight really dropped off. I'd gone from 340 to 248, and went and got married. Now here's the thing. So we bought enough food for this wedding for 150 people. Food, beverage, you know, whatever. We invited over 200. We were expecting around 150. Then when COVID came, we almost postponed it. But man, we've been together 9 years, pushing 10 now, and we wanted to get married. So like, you know what? We're gonna have a good time. Whoever comes. And I think we about 60 people there, but we had enough food and beverage for 120-ish. And so, the funny thing is, when we were picking the bar menu, you know, they asked me about beer, and I was like, well, you know, we can do a keg. Miller Lite's my preference. And they said, well, do you want to do 2 half kegs? That way you have 2 flavors. I'm like, 2 half kegs? Okay, we can do that. My boys, they like, my 2 sons and my 2 son-in-laws, they like Dos Equis. And so I was like, well, if you can do, you know, half keg of Dos Equis, half keg of Miller Lite, I think that'd be perfect. And they said, okay. Well, we get there, and they're like, Mr. Jake, well, there's really not, Dos Equis isn't really popular up here in Michigan. And so we had a hard time finding it. I'm like, well, okay. I was like, just 1 keg of Miller Lite. And well, we got you a keg of Miller Lite, but we drove around town and bought up all the bottles of Dos Equis we could find. It was like 7 cases of Dos Equis. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I told the boys, I said, look, we can take the Dos Equis back. I bought it, right? So we can take it back to Texas with us, but we can't take this keg back. And we put a pretty good dent in that keg. The photographer actually caught us, me and my 2 boys, tapping into the keg before the wedding. It's one of the funniest pictures on our album, actually. But you see me, I'm like behind my oldest son, or I think I'm behind Kane. I can't remember which one, but I'm like looking over their shoulder, like, oh, did we get caught? You know. But we put a good dent in that keg. We still left more than I wanted to leave, and we packed up the Dos Equis, brought it back to Texas, and I should have let it go. Or I should have gave it away, but I ended up putting it away myself, and it definitely put the pounds back on, man. I'm over time. I got off, if you saw the last video, we talked about motivation, momentum, right? And I had that momentum going, and I definitely stopped my momentum. And so we got a lot of bad habits started back up. Wife and I, we have a weekly date night, and a lot less behaving eating-wise on that weekly date night. And unfortunately, over the months, see that we got married back in October, we are now in June, I'd gotten back up to 300 pounds. And that's kind of embarrassing to admit, but you know, I said when I started this channel, hey, I want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I'm being honest with you. And I started back into more of a ketovore. In the last video, I shared that I kind of got back on a ketovore, and I've had some results. And I started at 302s when I started, and I'm down to 292. And as I keep moving with this, okay, I'll share a little bit more details, but it's carnivore with some tweaks, right? And I did that to, not that I don't enjoy or believe in carnivore, love it. I just want a little bit more variety, right? I like guacamole, I like hot sauce. I found, y'all know I'm a big fan of Ken Berry. Well, his wife, Nisha, she's got a channel, right? She talks a lot about ketovore. And there's actually some products that she uses that I'm trying out right now. One of them's Egg Life. It's an egg-based tortilla. Instead of made from flour, it's made from eggs. And I've only tried 2 flavors so far. I think there's 5 flavors. And I'm still learning, how to, heat them up. Do I just put them on the grill when I'm grilling my steaks? Maybe put them on some foil on the grill, let them heat up. Zap them in the microwave. I've tried that. She actually has this thing where she puts them in a skillet with some oil. She uses fat, leftover fat from previous cookings, but and she kind of fries it, and you can use like avocado oil, some type of healthy oil like that, and you can kind of fry it on both sides, get it nice and crispy, and use it for chips. So I'm playing around with that and a couple of other products, and I'll share more as I get the results. If the results don't come fast enough, then hey, I might go right back to full-on carnivore again, because I know to get results from that. But yeah, that's where I'm at today. Let me hear where you're at. What's your progress? What are you doing? It doesn't have to be just health related. Hey, I want to, trying to grow my faith, walking closer and closer with God every day. I'm in scripture, I'm in prayer, start my mornings off in gratitude. It definitely helps my days as it goes on. And again, when I read, it's really hard to stay focused on what I read. And I'm really trying to obviously I start with a prayer. Okay, God, tell me what you want to tell me today. What do you want me to do? And not just for knowledge, what's in Scripture. Hey, how do I apply it to my life, right? And then I'm working on my health. Health is a priority. So faith, health, and then got my businesses going. Growing the businesses. We've had a really good year in the Amazon business. Online sales have really picked up. We just got done with Prime Day, and we came close to doubling our sales on Prime Day. And so, and of course, nutrition. Everyone's trying to get healthier and looking for a good product. Part of what I'm doing is meal replacement shakes, okay? Because it's got the protein, it's got the stuff in them that it's got like a, oh my goodness, if I wouldn't have wanted to bring it up, I wouldn't have forgotten the word for it. But it's like a, what is it? It's a filler. But it's a healthier filler, and it just makes you feel satisfied. Right? Makes you feel satisfied. And so I've been doing that for breakfast, and then for my snacks in between, just trying to stick with some. I like pecans. I'll do a little bit of pecan, not too much. Blackberries, love blackberries. Man, they're getting expensive right now because they're getting harder and harder to find. But love some blackberries. And then for my meals, I found this brisket sausage. Woo, I get it from work. It's really good. Brisket sausage. And my mother-in-law for Father's Day, man, she got me this big case of Omaha products. I want to say steaks, but it wasn't just steaks. There were some tenderloins in there, sirloins in there, hot dogs, chicken breast, and there was these brisket burgers. So the other day I cooked up some brisket burgers with the sausage brisket. It was fantastic. Fantastic. Well, as always, if you found this video helpful, man, hit the like button. Consider sharing it with others. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. Come along this journey with me. I enjoy you spending your time watching these videos. All right, till next time, God bless and keep grilling.